really fast. All we got to do is just kind of run around these edges on this flat bar with a sanding pad. Clean up where a little bit of that finish might have run over, and then Liza will be here in just a second, and we'll ship it off to Bozeman. Kind of hurting a lot. Whoa! Not that heavy. You're good. Okay, good morning everybody. Welcome back to Schofield's Welding. Today is going to be just a good episode. We're basically doing a vlog today, kind of a day in our life. Right now, I don't think I told you earlier this morning, I destroyed the middle of my back. My lower back, I was doing a workout, wound up pinching the nerve in it, and I am eating 800 ibuprofens like crazy at the moment, but it's starting to feel better and everything's starting to work out. But that's kind of why we're not up at work at the moment. Kind of don't feel like I'd be worth the money they're paying me at the moment to be up there and just kind of be a gimp. But anyways, what we are going to do today is we are going to work on the front box of this bed. And I haven't decided 100% on dimensions. I do know we need to get this off, which I'm not sure I can get this tank off. I'm going to have to probably empty it into another tank and then get the tank off, and then we can go from there. But until we get to that point, I can pull all the measurements for it and build the box, and then we can go from there, alright? So, guys, what I'm getting ready to do right here is I'm going to put the level on the truck. And I suggest being very careful and don't be running it up and down on your truck. You will scratch the crap out of the side of your truck, alright? Then we're going to go to the other side. We'll use the square. We're going to pull off of it. One thing I do know is I want it to be at least an inch past the cab. So we're going to be an inch wider than the cab. Let's go over here and pull this measurement. Okay, so we're at 79 inches right now. Thinking what we're going to wind up doing, we're going to do a ½ inch on each side. We're going to do an 80-inch wide box, and that's going to be what we're going to do. And then it's going to come up about 20 inches, so it's going to be about right here, and then we're going to start tapering off and kind of try to follow the contour of this a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be pretty close. The next thing I want to do, though, is I want to match this welding machine as far as width goes. It's 26 inches, and so from where this box is going to be, which is going to look pretty good, we might just barely miss the cap on the fill, but I need to do something with this cap anyways. It needs to go away. It doesn't look very appealing. I don't love it, and so it's actually going to probably wind up going away here shortly. But let me grab a soapstone. We'll mark this out. Okay, now guys, one of the things you got to make dang sure of too is because this bed is built on an angle that you have enough room from this point to this point that 80 inches is going to come out to, you know, to the edge of this bed, so you don't have to build a little kicker that dives into it, which would just look terrible. So if you do mess it up, what I would recommend you do is cut you a sliver out of the top deck of this and then move that plate in just a little bit farther. That would probably hide it a little bit, but just be mindful of that. So what I did is I drew this square out right here, and I'll go on the other side and make sure that it's good, and then we'll pull a measurement and make sure that we're under 80 inches or flush at 80 inches. And ran it flush on that line. Ooh. I'm glad we didn't do that. So we're 83 inches is what we are right there. And so in order to make this work, we actually need to build this box out to 83 inches. Which it won't look bad at 83 inches. 80 inches is a ½ inch. And so if we're doing another 1.5 inches past this, we're going to be about right there. Which will look absolutely fine. It'll be absolutely fine. Nothing's going to be in the way of it. So we're going to build this thing 83 inches wide. Okay. Now the next thing I want to find out is just how big of an insert can we put in this. So that thing's going to come out to right about there. Let me grab the big level and we'll see how it looks. It's going to come out that much on each side of that truck. Which is exactly 1 3/8 inches. But that way when we go to put this on here, this is flush and you can just make a real pretty weld and it just looks like it belongs there. So 83 inches is what it is. We're going to do a 14-inch cutback on it, which we'll build that in here in a bit. But as of right now, we can cut the sides that are going to go on this and the roof. And then I'm going to keep this plate here for the bottom of the box. All we're going to do is just weld around it. It's going to look good. Let's get the plate, let's haul it in, and then let's start cutting and building this thing. I might just bring the sawhorses out right here and then we'll just cut it right here. That way I don't have to haul it around. Well, what we should do is, because we know we got two sides on this whole thing, so we're going to put this one on top of it and we'll just cut both of them at the same time. Gotta make sure that stuff looks good that way, because if it don't, then you're in for a lot of grinding, a lot of welding. So 83 inches. So that is what we know is going to be our set point. So we're going to draw that in. Now, one thing I didn't tell you guys is we are actually dropping this box clear down. And so, in order to do that, 14 inches is where it starts to break over from the top of the deck. Well, we need this thing to be, so 20 inches is going to be the bottom of the skirt. So, really, how this thing is going to lay out is it's going to be 20 inches is the bottom of the skirt, and then on top of that it's 14 inches, which is where this thing will start to break over. Now, this is not going to go all the way up the truck, all right? This is going to be, well, whatever this is, 48 3/4 inches tall. So that's how tall this box is going to be. So from the top of the box to the top of the deck, it's only going to be 28 3/4 inches. Guys, I was running a little bit of a struggle bus here. I could not figure out how I was going to pull this measurement from here to here. But one of the things we did figure out is we know that we're 1.5 inches this way of this brake. Like the biggest part of this brake is 1.5 inches. So what I did is I just did this, and I took the big level and I leveled it out. And then I just went off of my mark here, came over to the edge, and it was 7.5 inches. And then all I did is I plussed 1.5 inches, which gave me 9 inches. So I know that from the center of the box, I need to go up and then go 83 inches minus 9 inches, and that's going to be the brake. So it should follow right along this 1.5 inches all the way around it. So that was a little bit tough. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to do that, especially without another person here. I couldn't figure out how to hold a tape measure and get levels without scratching my doors, and yeah, it was a little tough. But anyways, we got. Okay. And then from where our brake is going to happen, we are 34 and a quarter inches, sorry. Better make that a little better. 34 and an eighth inches is what it is. 34 1/8 inches. Boom. So we know that our breakover is right there. Which it's not going to follow the cab perfectly, but it should follow it pretty close. I mean, you're talking about round cabs and things like that. There's nothing I can do about round unless we want to get real intricate with it, which these boxes don't need to be that intricate. It would look cool, but by the time you got one done, you'd never want to do another one again. So what I just did here is I got 3 clamps to hold this whole thing together. It's nice because with the skill saw you can just cut it out and it's done. And it doesn't warp it, which is sweet. But this will just make one thing less that I gotta do. Okay, there's the main body. I'm glad we double checked. I'm going to do 16 inches. We want a 16-inch deep box in here. Why, you say? Why not? To keep this thing rolling and moving forward, we're going to tack these sides on so we can get a good idea of what this box is going to do here. And since I'm by myself, it's going to be a little more difficult to get her done, but we're up for the challenge. Your biggest thing is going to be hinges on your welds, so okay. We need to make sure everything's squared up good. Okay, just little tacks because we still got to tweak and move this thing, make sure it's square. What needs to happen, we need to throw that square back under there. Okay guys, sorry, the battery died on the camera, so we had to charge that, but while it was charging, I went ahead and cut out the roof. This is a 65 by 26 inch roof. One of the things you can do when you are by yourself and it's hard to hold things by yourself, get you a piece of angle iron and right now I got 2 of them, and I just did it flush to the top of here, clamped them with some clamps, and now I can slide this over and on top and get it positioned and tack it where it needs to go. So. So that's one of the reasons you tack things. Don't make them solid yet. Now, the other thing I did while the camera was charging, and I cut the floors for the boxes right here. So we'll get that put in. Now guys, don't worry about the stoutness of this thing. It is going to get welded all the way around there and in the front, and so it's going to suck that thing up just tight as can be. The other thing we're going to do in here is we're building shelves in here too. So there's going to be some shelves in here. It's all going to stouten it all up eventually. So, but too many people, they get worried about it and they start building stuff out of super heavy gauge stuff, and oh my gosh, it's just freaking heavy and it's ridiculous, and you don't need to be doing that. So as long as your plan is designed like it should be fine. Now what we need to do, we need to check square on all of this, make sure this didn't move any. Looking really good. We're going to build rolling drawers in it eventually, but as of right now, we just kind of need it on the truck so that we can load all the tools on it and be good to go. But this is turning out pretty freaking awesome. I'm excited for how big the box is. Now the inspiration for it was from Canadian style beds. I really like the Canadian style beds. They're killing it in the bed builds, I think. I like the big front box. The only thing I don't like about it is usually they only have the front big box, and I don't like that. I want the pipeliner style, American style pipeliner bed with the front big box, because anymore, man, we're doing everything. We're doing plumbing, we're doing HVAC, we're doing copper, we're doing screw pipe, we're doing all sorts of stuff, and to have all your tools on one truck makes it a big plus. The other thing that we're going to do with this thing is I want to put a kitchen in this, and one of the big things for me is I would love, I've never had the opportunity, but I would love to have a microwave and like a little cooktop in it, some kind of griddle or whatever, to where, hey, come 12 o'clock, let's hurry and whip us up some fajitas, or let's, you know, griddle a couple burgers real quick, and it's just done. But I would love to do that. So that's kind of the other idea for that. That'll be off of this side, I'm pretty sure. Microwave should shit in the bottom of that, no problem. But anyways, just some ideas getting tossed around. We'll see how it goes.